Hey guys, this is GJ Bricks bringing you a review of the new Jurassic Park Velociraptor Chase set. This is part of LEGO's Jurassic World 2 lineup for 2018. I have to say, when they originally announced this set, I was very pleased to finally see something from the classic movie in the lineup. Me and I think a hell of a lot of other people who have fond memories of the original movie were very happy to see it finally make it into the lineup, and I'm really hoping this isn't the only set they release. There's so much good stuff from that movie, so fingers crossed there will be more to come in the future. So without further ado, I will start talking through the good and the bad points of this set. So in terms of the build, it didn't take me too long to do, although I did have the movie on in the background and I was doing a time-lapse build at the same time, so it's not really fair to say how long it took. It's probably about a 45-50 minute build, depending on how you do it. In terms of things like the stickers, there weren't really any troublesome ones on this one. I mean, obviously on the computer screens here, getting them to be as central as can be slightly frustrating. I confess, the two I was most worried about was the classic Jurassic Park logo. Getting that one onto the window in about the middle and the right angle, yep, not easy because it is just a circle. But on the plus side, it wasn't one of those horrible rectangular plasticky stickers that you have to line up and then get annoyed with and then get bubbles in or whatever. So kudos to LEGO for going with a simple round sticker on that one. One I was really worried about was this map, because I was worried I was going to put it too high and this would overlap it. There wasn't really a lot to guide you. Thankfully, it actually is much easier than you think to put it on. You'd have to really try hard to put it too high, so thankfully that didn't happen. We've also got the phone down here, which is the only printed piece in this set, so I'm glad to see that one was actually printed, because that would have been a very fiddly little sticker. As you will know from my other videos, I'm not fond of 1x1 stickers. So yeah, it's packed full of little features and little bits from the movie that I will get to in a minute. The playability of this set is really good for its size. It's such a small kit, but there's so many things going on, and I'll show you a few of them in a minute. You've read the instructions, but I was playing with it the other day and I've got a ton of photos to upload just from literally just positioning the figures, playing with the features from the set. It really is charming. So they have caught a lot of the playability that you would want from something like this in the set. It includes 4 of the main characters from the movie and the raptor. I'll start with Alan Grant over here. Now, Alan is, as you know, the one of the main characters in the movie. He's the guy who is the dinosaur expert who gets brought out to the island. Now, I've got him here with the hat on. I love the hat. The hat's great. In terms of the actual printing of the figure, he's wearing his traditional excavation outfit with his little cravat around the neck. The face is only printed on one side. Of the characters in this set, he is the only one to be printed on one side. But obviously the shirt does get printed on the back, as you can see there. So he's got a great expression on his face. He's also the most calm and collected of the group, I think it's fair to say. Everyone else seems to be pulling faces. I'm going to put him back there with his back to the door. He's trying to keep the raptors out until they've rebooted the door locks. If you've seen the movie, you'll get that reference. Now we have Ellie, who has this rather fetching hair and a bit of a, I should say, a cross look on her face. I'm not the biggest fan of the 2 prints of her face. I have to say, I think we could have caught her a little bit better. It's alright, but what she's wearing is great. She's got her excavation suits with the bright, cheerful, sleeveless top on that she wears in the movie. Around the back, I'll just take off this massive hair. You can see the other face that she has there. A look of horror. I'm not surprised when you've got some dinosaurs trying to eat you the way they have. And again, on the back, it just carries on that pattern on her top. Let's see if I can put this on. I confess I got the hair in the wrong place a few times, as you can see again. There we go. Fixed that one up too. next up we have little Tim Murphy in the traditional Lego tiny person thing, normal body with the short legs, wearing his young person wants to be a dinosaur expert outfit that he wears in the movie. Again, he is a two-sided character, and he has what can only be described as a terrified look on his face in the second print. Again, if you've seen the movie, you'll know exactly why he's terrified. The poor little guy, he did well to make it off the island. And last but by no means least, we have Lex, who is the hero of this particular scene. She's the one that reboots the computer and saves them all. So if it wasn't for her nerd skills as it's described by her brother, they wouldn't have survived. Her outfit is young girl, pink outfit. She's got a slightly miserable look on her face in this particular side. Again, understandable given that she's trying to escape from dinosaurs. On the other side though, we have a happy face. This happens when she's had the jelly, which you'll see in the kitchen in a minute. So yeah, the figures are pretty damn good in my opinion. I'm obviously very happy to see Alan and Ellie in here. Printed so well and done so much justice. As I say, Ellie could do with a slightly better face in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. I'm sure others will disagree with me on that one. So what I'll do is I'll start by working my way. Oh, actually, I mustn't forget this fella here. I've got quite a collection of these now from having bought all of the previous Jurassic World sets. So this is my 5th Raptor now. Yep. Came in the usual packaging, well printed. The dinosaurs from this movie were less well defined than in the more recent Jurassic World movie, mostly because they were just raptors in this movie who were, you know, terrifying dinosaurs that wanted to eat you. But yeah, fantastic mold Lego has created for these figures, up to the same high standard. You've got the hook claw there, you've got the teeth, you've got the appropriately, when the face is closed like that, he actually does have a very reminiscent look from the movie, which is good to see. So yeah, high quality. You could put things on the back if you really want to. I'm sure the kids will love doing that and having people on there riding a raptor. Probably do some raptor racing or something, I would imagine, but anyway, probably should have kept that one to myself. So I'm going to start by just a quick look at the kitchen here. So as you may or may not know from the movie, there is a scene towards the end which is set in the kitchen. It features a few key moments, like it's around Lex and Tim trying to escape from the raptors. They do a variety of things, including hiding in the cupboard, distracting them by banging spoons, which you can see over here. The pots and pans get knocked off the counter, and also, sounding slightly strange, they do actually eat jelly. There is a bit about that in the movie as well, again explained. I won't ruin it if you haven't seen the movie. Oh, and there is actually a bar of chocolate here. One thing I have forgotten, I have just realised to put in here, is there was actually a hot dog as well included in the set, which you can see on the box here. Oh, if it zooms in, which you can see on the box here. I actually forgot to get it out for this video review, so I'm a muppet for that one, but I'm sure you won't mind. You've seen a lot of the hot dogs that Lego seems to include in their sets these days. So yeah, just simple cupboard, opens on both sides, so little Tim can hide in here. And the raptor hopefully won't be able to get to him now because he's hidden in there. So, good little playability feature. The kids can hide behind the cabinets. They fit perfectly, as you can see. You can barely see him from behind there, so the raptors will never find him in there. It's just, again, attached to the main section, just using these Technic bricks. Just of note, when you put the whole thing together, it starts off by building the main command center here and then attaching the two sides to it. So that was the kitchen tour. Now over here we have the lab slash embryo room. It looks slightly random, but actually in the movie it was next to the command center, so it is actually appropriately positioned. The kitchen wasn't next to the command center, but I won't go into details on that. I think it was actually a very good addition because of its playability. So of the parts of this set, this is actually probably the thinnest room. The reason being, there's not actually a huge amount going on in there. You've got the embryo storage here, featuring the eggs. Although I was thinking about this earlier on, they could actually be the amber that's mentioned in the movie. Who knows? But it's a well put together little set. It's got the embryos out of storage here. I'm guessing this is supposed to be a cooling system or a motor perhaps that is powering the embryo system. It's on a raised deck, again like the movie. Over here we have the camera, got the red light, so it's gone off. This is the point where Dennis Nedry has turned off the security systems, and the park starts to degenerate into chaos. So yeah, just spinning this around. There was one detail, I was racking my brains as to what it was, and then I suddenly remembered what it was. This little fella down here. It looks really random, but it's the aerosol can that Nedry stores the embryos in. It was so obvious when I realised. So yep, he stores them in the movie in a can of aerosol that is designed to keep them cool. That is what that is. So lovely, nice little feature. Now I know what that is. It made that whole bit, that little bit better. So moving around to the main room here. This is the one that, you know, everything's going on. This is where so much happens in the movie, both sort of early on in the movie, in the middle, and towards the end of the movie. I'll probably start by just going around some of the iconic features in there. So I already mentioned we've got the stickers over here of the classic Jurassic Park logo. Fairly well printed, although it is slightly off center. The yellow is thicker on the bottom than the top. Minor detail you really won't notice. We've got the map here. Down here we have the telephone, which plays an important part when they have to call the mainland and try and get help. Would have been good if it hadn't been broken by Dennis Nedry's actions. Over here we have the computer. I did chuckle when you see Dennis Nedry's you didn't say the magic word on the screen, which was a great choice for that screen, I think. On the second screen we have the Unix system, as is highlighted in the movie. Over here we have what looks like a random set of objects, but I was thinking about it. So we've got a walkie-talkie. That makes sense because they use walkie-talkies to talk to each other. There's a spanner. I'm not sure what the spanner is a reference to. Must be something I can't think of, but I don't think there's anything. And then there's an umbrella. Now I think that is a reference to the fact that on Isle Nublar, it's quite hard to show you with my big fingers. On Isle Nublar, it rains a lot. That's the reference I can come up with for it. So let's go with that as a theory. What else is there in here? The door locking mechanism is controlled by this lever over here. So as you can see, it locks the door. There's no raptors going to come in there. But take away that lever and the door swings freely. They've even got the door handles included, which the raptors famously use to open the door when the door locking systems aren't working. Clever creatures. Up here we have the status system telling you the state of the park now. If you know the movie, that wasn't in the control room, but I think putting it in the control room is a great little touch. Adds a real feature to another feature to this room to connect it to the movie. Then there is the ladder that they escape from. Now this is a standard ladder. I have one grumble with this ladder, and that is that it is not as wide as the figure's legs, so you can only put 1 foot on there. You know, again, it's not life-threatening, but it's not ideal. There we go. I've managed to get Alan to to stay put on there. So yeah, that was really my only grumble in this room. Otherwise, I love all the little features. There's Lex on the computer. There's everybody trying to keep the door locked before that raptor breaks in. And there's one more feature which you would have seen if you've read the specs for this set, which is over here, the breaking glass. Rah, a dinosaur comes in through the window. Apologise for my childish roar, but I do love that little feature. As I said, I took a ton of photos of this set previously. I'm going to pose the raptor through the window there. Actually works very well on this one because he can stand on the kitchen counter. Let's get him out of there, and then obviously he can come through the front door. Now the front door is less easy to pose. The reason is there's nowhere for him to actually be clipped onto, and he can't stand on the stairs. It's just, there's not really enough room. You have to really try and fiddle this one to get him to work. He sort of comes in awkwardly. There you go. You have to make sure his neck's there to hold him in place. To be honest, if the raptor's got that far into the room, you have got a lot of problems. So as you can tell from me talking about the set, I have a lot of love for everything the Lego designers have included in it. It really is a lovely little play set. I'm trying to decide where this is going to live. It might well be my desk at work, to be perfectly honest. I love it that much. I would not mind sitting there looking at it all day. Although I'd have to not play with it all day. That could be a trick, although I can see my colleagues getting quite into this. So I do have to bring up a couple of things about this set that I wasn't so happy with. One thing in particular that bothered me was there's not many places you can clip the dinosaur into. If you look at it from the top, and I should have done this earlier on in the review because this is actually quite a cracking view, I think. You can really see everything that's going on with the command center, the kitchen, the embryo room. You can see it's a busy set for its size. There really is a lot packed into it, but there's not many places you can clip this guy onto. If you look at the way his feet work, there's little bits here and there, but they're really quite fiddly. So that's really a minor grumble in my opinion, but it was something when I was trying to pose the set at one point. I did struggle a few times. So yeah, not earth-shattering, but I did have to bring it up. The set is quite limited in size. I mean, there's a lot in here. They've managed to pack it full of features for its size, so I don't think that's actually an issue. When I was taking the photos, as I said, I managed to make a hell of a lot of quite good stuff out of it in my opinion. So again, that's not really a massive issue, but some people might not be so keen given how big some of the play sets can be. One thing I did have a grumble with is Lex here. Now Lex can't bend her legs, and she's the one who has to operate the computer. Can you see my problem there? I think she could have had the longer legs because she was quite a tall kid in the movie. That's again a minor thing, but it does look a bit silly with her standing on the chair like that. It reminds me of my young kids standing on the chair trying to break into my computer. This one is a really silly thing, but you only get one of these guys, okay? Now, in the movie, at this point, there were 2 still active. Actually, there was 3 at one point, but the third one was locked in the fridge. So by this scene in the command center, there were 2. I can understand. Lego's probably done that to try and keep the cost down. I imagine with the licensing fee for Jurassic World / Jurassic Park, they probably do have to sort of get as much as they can in without putting too much cost in there. So unfortunately there was only 1 raptor, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, given the size of the set, 2 would have been very crowded, so it's probably a silly thing to bring up. Again, they could have thrown a T-Rex in as well, to be perfectly honest, because that comes up just after this. That would have been awesome, but again, silly, not important. One thing that's come up a lot when I was looking through forums and things like that, people were concerned a bit about the price. So I live in Australia, and this set, if you buy it through the official the official Lego website, excuse me, sorry for that reference. spot the Apple fanboy. It costs about 19.5 cents a brick. If you get it through somewhere like Kmart, like I did, it's $10 cheaper, which works out a very reasonable 16.3 cents per brick, which is rather good. If you compare that to the recent Tron set, that works out at about 21.7 cents a brick, which is pretty steep, and the reason I haven't bought that set, despite the fact that I absolutely love the movie. I will buy it one day. I just can't justify that cost. Sorry, Lego, but that's one where the licensing has made that unappealing to me, I'm afraid. Otherwise, overall, I think this is a cracking set. I really do think this is a good set. There's so much happening. There's so much playability. When my kids saw it the other day, they're young, but they were so excited seeing the dinosaur and all the things going on. And there's a kid and there's a girl and there's all these things happening. There's a ladder. So, yeah, they were really excited about it. There's so many things you could do. The imagination you can use in here. I'd love to do some stop motion with this myself. I haven't done a proper stop motion movie, so that will be fun to try that one. I think this really does have the opportunity to do that. And again, you get some of the figures that we've always wanted with Alan Grant and Ellie, as well as more dinosaurs. You can never have enough Lego dinosaurs, in my opinion. So I would highly recommend this set if you can't tell. I think it's great. I am so happy I found this one as the only Jurassic World set that was on the shelf at my local shop. Actually, it was. I took that as a sign that I'd made the right choice. So yeah, highly recommend it. Buy it. Tell me what you think. And obviously, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And obviously, please like and share this video, and be sure to visit gjbricks.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.